Hello and welcome back to the Dugout podcast. This is episode number 82, and we are joining you today after an action packed weekend of SPFL action, goals galore this weekend in the SPFL. Of course, I'm joined as always, by my co host, Ethan Barlow. Before we dive into this exciting weekend of action, Ethan, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, good. It was very exciting. Almost, well, every game delivered goals, certainly. Almost five a game, I think, if you're looking at the averages. So, yeah, an excellent weekend. Some twists. Obviously, the big game between Hearts and Celtic was certainly filled with, I don't know, controversy, you could say, or some people would say. And yeah, it really opens up the title race, opens up the top six race as well with some of the results throughout the league as well as the relegation battle, which sort of stays the same. But yeah, another entertaining weekend, and we've still got what 23, so that would be another what 15 match days in the Scottish Premiership, and I'm sure all of them will be probably not as enjoyable as this one, but they'll be there or thereabouts, hopefully, because that's how the season's went. It's been really entertaining. How's yourself, Alex?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Um, I'm excited to talk about the football. But before we get into the football, we're going to start on Aberdeen versus Livingston. However, in the 70th minute of that game, Jack Milne and Jeremy Bokola were both sent off for a scuffle. Um, Jeremy Bokola looked enraged. Him and Milne started, like pushing and pulling, grabbing each other. It looked like it was going to break out into a full blown fight if others hadn't got involved. And Jeremy Livingston striker Jeremy Bockla has accused Aberdeen player Jack Milne of making a racist comment towards him, which was the reasons that the the fight obviously happened. Just up top, I'm going to say this is all alleged. We know nothing about what happened. We can't know anything. Only Jack Milne knows if he said it or not. Jeremy Bockla will know as well what he heard. So yeah, only those two know exactly what has transpired. So we're not speculating. I just think it would be remiss of us if we didn't address this up top. Ethan has some stuff on it from the BBC, like comments from David Martindale.
Yeah, I think I seen the thing David Martindale said after the game. He said, "I've got a 37-year-old striker, and they're crying, so I'll need to go and try and get to the bottom of that one." And obviously, I imagine conversations have been had, and that's what Jeremy Bookie has said. And this is it. There's going to be someone that comes out of this on the negative spin, but I think it's a negative situation at all, and it doesn't. I hope it doesn't sort of overlook, which has been an excellent weekend of Scottish football. But unfortunately, these things have to be spoken about. It's something that shouldn't be happening in our game. It's something that should be happening in football at all. And it's something that shouldn't be happening in society at all. And hopefully, it wasn't the case. But unfortunately, if it isn't the case and Jack Milne didn't say something, then you've got to ask the question of why Jeremy Bukia's sort of throwing those accusations about, because it's not something that's really fair to accuse Jack Milne of, but he was certainly frustrated in the scuffle, if you call it that. And yeah, so obviously we can't know, we're just speculating, but yeah, I think it is important that we give our thoughts on it and hope that wasn't the case. I seen Graham Shinney was certainly very frustrated after the incident, but I'm sure we'll find out the key details in the coming weeks, and hopefully it's not something that tarnishes which was an excellent game as well.
Yeah, and of course, we hope that wasn't the case. We hope Jack Milne didn't say anything racist towards Jeremy Buckler, but if he did, and it can, like, if he did, he should be banned. He should be banned from playing the game, and he should be reprimanded because there's, this is football, and unfortunately, we need to deal with stuff like that all the time. Mean, but there shouldn't be any place for racism, discrimination, prejudice. on the pitch, and although that's maybe one of the prejudices, is one of the biggest selling points, I guess, for our most revered derby. But that shouldn't be part of the game, and obviously, like I said, if Jack Milne is guilty of this, he should be punished
Yeah.
for it.
Just something, sorry to jump on top of you there, but something that maybe we should uh, say is that Jack Milne isn't specifically mentioned anywhere here. I don't know if he is in the Aberdeen statement. They said
No,
that they've they've contacted, they've let the player know about the allegations, but we're assuming it's Jack Milne. So it could be someone else, but you would imagine that it was Jack Milne if it was to be true. But hopefully it's not, as we said, and hopefully that's something
yeah,
that doesn't crop up in our game in the future. And I liked what I seen from the Aberdeen fans. They were saying that obviously deal with the facts, but if the fact is that Aberdeen player or Jack Milne has made a racial comment towards Bakir, then he should be dealt with appropriately, and that should probably be being removed from Aberdeen Football Club, I would think.
yeah, definitely. You mentioned their Aberdeen statement, and you're correct that they don't mention the player. I'll just read it out. The club is aware of an allegation that racist language was used today during today's match. I'm really butchering this. During today's match with Livingston FC at Pittodrie, the player concerned has been informed of the allegation and vehemently denies it. Aberdeen FC condemns any and all forms of discrimination, and we will cooperate fully with all relevant authorities during an investigation. While this process is ongoing, it would be inappropriate to comment further. So, once the investigation has been carried out, I guess we'll see what the outcome of it is, and we do hope um, that this wasn't the case. But if like I just find those comments from David Martindale a bit telling. Like, you know, an experienced an experienced striker, 37 years old. He's not going to lose his head for no reason. Because he I think he actually initiates the sort of scrap, um, and then he says he's crying in the dressing room. So maybe it's a tough situation to look at. Obviously, we shouldn't really speculate on it. So, but obviously, Jeremy Buckler has heard something that's made him so upset.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, what you're saying, I agree with. But as you said, it probably isn't like Aberdeen said at the end of their statement. It's probably inappropriate to comment any further on the situation. Just hoping that it clears up and that nothing comes of it in uh, a significant light that's a negative on Scottish football or Scottish society as a whole.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Moving on from a sour topic to start. Moving on to the game itself was a blistering game of football, an 8-goal thriller at Pittodrie. Kenan Bilalovic opened the scoring in the ninth minute. A corner swung in from Lyle Cameron, comes through off the head of a Livingston player, I believe. It just kind of skids through. Kenan Bilalovic is there at the back to put it away. Um, However, Livingston weren't taking it lying down. Mamadou Sissoko tied it up in the 28th minute for one each. Some nice sort of, I think, reactive play from Sissoko to get the goal there. And then Robbie Muirhead makes it 2-1 to Livingston in the 32nd minute. Just one thing I wanted to pick up on, because obviously we're going to be crediting Aberdeen because they won the game. But they might be the worst at defending set pieces in the entire division.
Yeah, yeah, quite possibly the defending for those two Livingston goals in quick succession was awful, especially the second one. The fact that Conor McLennan, I think it was a free attempt on goal. It should really probably do better. But obviously he forces Dimitar Mitov into the save, and then Robbie Muirhead's on hand to finish the rebound. And you thought at that point maybe Livingston were going to cause a little bit of an upset and get themselves some points, whereas it was looking pretty dark for the relegation, their fellow relegation candidates at Fir Park.
Yeah, yeah, but it didn't last long for Livingston, unfortunately. Kevin Nisbet put Aberdeen back on level terms in the 49th minute. Really nice play down the left hand side. A nice cross from Mitchell Frame. Nisbet was there to put it away. And then he scored an almost identical goal in the 48th minute. No, sorry, 40 in the 53rd minute. My apologies. I just looked at the +8 there, and I just melded the two numbers together. In the 53rd minute of the first half of additional time, he scored an almost identical goal. Like I said, this time Topi Keskinen was the man to put it on a plate for him. And after a crazy first half, Aberdeen go in 3-2 up. And Ethan, you've got to say this must be massive for Kevin Nisbet's confidence, because he has had an awful season.
Yeah, we slated him a little bit just over a week ago now, or maybe not, close to 2 weeks ago now, in our team of the season and worst, most underperforming team of the season, whatever you wanted to call it, that he was in both of our teams, because we've grown to expect him to be a regular scorer in this division for multiple teams, and he hadn't been that for Aberdeen this season. But yeah, two really good strikers' goals. He's in the post. They're very similar goals, but good movement, good finishes, and good goals all round from Aberdeen. Mitchell Frame making his second appearance, sorry, for Aberdeen this season, first in the Scottish Premiership, and to get an assist. Not bad, not a bad debut. I will talk about one of the maybe worst debuts in a bit when we get onto another game. But Topi Keskinen also, we'll get onto his second half performance, but good cross from him. And I think what I've seen from Aberdeen fans was they were happy to see him back on that left hand side, because obviously Jesper Karlsson was playing on the left while he was there. You said that he was maybe one of the more underperforming players in the league, which I think by his standards across the years is probably fair, but he was still Aberdeen's top scorer before obviously being recalled by Bologna. And I think we've seen some of Topi Keskinen's best football back on the left-hand side. Obviously, Aberdeen spent nearly £1 million on him with some of the money they got for Bojan Miovski last summer. So yeah, I think Aberdeen fans will be looking to see some of his best football at that side, and if he's to perform like he did on Saturday, then that'll certainly be a positive for Peter Leaving. Or if they do go and get a full-time manager in before the end of the season, but I can see them sticking with Leaving until the end of the campaign. I don't really see Aberdeen going out and getting another manager before then, and obviously we've seen the disaster at Celtic of going to try and get a manager mid-season, especially when you expect Aberdeen, probably by their recent history, to go and get a foreign manager from a different market who will have a specific style of play they want to implement.
Yeah, and it's 2 wins on the bounce now for Peter Leaving. Granted, there's Wraith Rovers and Livingston, but I think they should just give him that opportunity to sort of keep going and see where he can take their squad. Aberdeen got their fourth, really putting the game to bed in the 75th minute. Sivert Helt Nielsen put it away from a corner kick. I forgot he even existed. I couldn't believe he was still at the club. So when I saw him put it away, I was thinking, yeah, he's alive. So yeah, decent goal for him. Topi Keskinen's got a brace in the 85th and 92nd minute. Good work from him, right? I just want to pick up on this. I don't know if I was like, if I'm making this up, Ethan. See the Livingston defence for both these goals. Were they running through treacle? What is going on? Were they afraid? Did Toby Keskinen have like a spell, a force field around him where no one could go near him? Like what is going on for both these goals?
I don't know. I think Livingston had thrown the towel in at this point, to be honest. Especially the first of the two.
Yeah,
The fact that just let him drift in on his right foot and then have a shot. And I don't know if they must. I didn't really see if it took a deflection because I think Jerome Pryor probably should have saved it if it didn't. But yeah, the second one as well was pretty poor defending, but well taken goals from Keskin. Certainly, that'll help his confidence as a winger. I think wingers are the most confidence reliant players, maybe strikers also. But yeah, two big goals for him, six big goals for Aberdeen, and exactly what they need under Peter Leaving. Obviously, I think the players, when you get a big win under a manager that maybe some players aren't 100% sure about, it helps you buy into what the manager's trying to do. And Aberdeen will be looking at to carry that to Rugby Park as their next fixture, which they'll expect to win again and won't want to be the team that lets up against Neil McCann's. Obviously, previously, Stuart Kettlewell and Chris Doolan struggling Kilmarnock, who are on a ridiculous run without a win, as are Livingston. And I think what we've seen from Livingston is possibly when they went down to 10 men, they just collapsed and didn't have the legs really to go into those final stages. They obviously played that game against St Mirren midweek. Aberdeen rested up after their win against Raith Rovers. So, yeah, I think we've seen that. But, yeah, but massive win for Aberdeen and disappointing and concerning again for Livingston.
yeah, very very disappointing and concerning for Livingston. However, they, you know, Kilmarnock are doing a really good job of trying to keep up with them. But we're not going to talk about Kilmarnock just yet. We're going to talk about Falkirk, who are playing exceptionally right now. They should have probably beaten Celtic. Um, in their 1-0 defeat at the Falkirk Stadium. They then went to Tynecastle, took the league leaders to penalties and dumped them out the Scottish Cup. And then they hosted their city rivals and absolutely battered them. Falkirk 4, Hibernian 1. And just before we sort of dive into this, Ethan, I mean, Falkirk have had spells. They were doing really well earlier in the season. But from watching them recently, I think this is the best they've played all season. They look like they could take on anyone right now.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think it's been a growth from League One all the way up. I thought it a positive trajectory for John McGlynn's team. They've obviously went up the leagues with the back-to-back promotions. They started the season a wee bit, how could I say, they weren't the greatest defensive unit, conceded a lot of cheap goals, but they've sorted that out. John McGlynn's an excellent manager. He obviously likes to play attractive football at times, but he'll mix it up to use to his players' strengths and the opposition's weaknesses. I think it was the second goal or the third goal it might have been. I think it was the second goal. Or was it the third goal? Oh, I can't remember. It was one of the Barney Stewart's one of his goals of his excellent hat trick. That was an excellent goal, which Falkirk worked out all the way from the back, but they just had way too much from Hibs and
I
dominating
think
from.
it was the second one, Calvin Miller cross. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, so because he got the assist for the first one, but I'm pretty sure it was the second one.
yeah,
It's difficult to tell as they practically scored the same goal 3 times. Technically, four times as well because it was a ball in from the left hand side. But yeah, you mentioned him there. Barney Stewart opened the scoring in the 17th minute. Kevin Miller playing the ball across. Very similar to Kevin Nisbet's goals as well. But yeah, Hibs allowing. I think because all these goals are kind of so similar, we can just talk about them just kind of at once. Hibs allowing that basically identical ball to be played across their goal face um, 3 times and conceding 3 times uh, is absolute is shocking. It's so poor, and you could even maybe you could even put some blame on Salinger as well, because I think you've got to wisen up to that and try and cover that because goalkeepers do that. Goalkeepers do come out and cover the low balls across the box. They dive on them. Salinger didn't do that. The Hibs defence was nowhere for all three of Barney Stewart's goals. Um, Terrific for him, terrific hat trick. But yeah, Falkirk flying Ethan and Hibs uh, just disastrous from start to finish. They obviously did get um, quite a strange goal. I thought through. It felt like weird to watch. It was a good header from Rocky Bashiri, but I feel like Falkirk should have defended it. But they did get that goal back, but they couldn't get back into the game at all. Falkirk outplayed them at every turn.
Yeah, from pretty much, I was going to say pretty much minute 1 to 90, Falkirk were the better team and were thoroughly deserving of the 3 points as well as the 3 goal margin and the 4 goals they scored. Barney Stewart done really well for his goals. I know they look like easy finishes, but especially the second one, he does make it really easy. Calvin Miller does excellent taking up and away from him. He had a stellar performance as well, but he makes it easy for him as in he's hovering, he's not running too much in towards the goal. He's hovering back at the edge of the 6 yard box. So when it comes back to him, it's a pretty easy finish from there. And what a story for him. First Premiership goals, get a hat trick. I kind of writ him off after the Celtic game. He should have probably scored in that game. And I thought Falkirk needed, and obviously they did need striker reinforcements because they brought two in, and Ben Parkinson and Louis Marsh. Louis Marsh probably unlucky not to be credited with the fourth goal, although Grant Hanley makes a mess of it. Then Ben Parkinson obviously got the goal against the Jambos in the Scottish Cup. But Stewart looks like he's going to be a problem for whatever team he comes up against. And I believe he was at university playing for a university team a couple of seasons ago, and he's still doing his degree. So yeah, an excellent story for him. And I've got a wee bit of trivia for you if you want to take part in it. I've got a list of all the Scottish Premiership clubs and the last player to score a hat trick in the league.
What
So
for each of them?
yeah, I'll give you the years if you can.
Okay,
I'll give
right.
you
Let me start. So Barney Stewart. Um,
yeah. He's the most recent one.
hmm,
There was one last season.
Cyril Dessers.
No, as a Rangers player,
Did he not score a hat trick?
maybe in the cup or something, but maybe not in the Scottish Premiership.
I thought he got a hat trick in that 4-3 win over Dundee at Dens.
I don't think he did.
Okay. Um,
Well, this is what it says here. So
he did,
ScottishFootball.info. If
he
they've
did,
got it wrong, not me.
he did score a hat trick in the cup at one point, I think. Hmm, Rangers player hat trick. Don't think Cherny ever scored a hat trick. It was last season.
Yeah, it was last season.
I'm gonna forget who this was.
Do you need a clue?
Do you, do you reckon if I get the clue, I'll get it straight away?
Possibly. Okay, the clue. No, I don't think you will. Maybe it was against the same opponents that Barney Stewart scored his against.
Oh, Hamza Agaman.
Yeah, Hamza Agaman, the hat trick at Easter Road and that free each straw. The next most recent one was two, no, a couple seasons before actually. Hearts against Ross County at home in a 6-1 win.
The forgot his name.
You've trust me, you've not forgot his name.
Oh, Lauren Shankland.
Yes, Lawrence
Oh
Shankland.
right, okay.
Uh, Next up, in the same season, a couple of months before, is Hibs in a
But
6-0 win.
wait. Do you know who I was gonna say? Josh
Who?
Kelly.
What? What? I think he was linked with somebody. I think he might have been linked with St Mirren
Oh, okay.
recently. I don't obviously I don't think that one really played out as he's not at St Mirren, but yeah. Next up was Hibs a couple months before Shankland in a 6-0 win over Aberdeen. I think that was when Jim Goodwin was the Aberdeen manager.
Martin Boyle.
No, maybe a surprising one. He's still at Hibs, but
Deutsch.
no, he's still at Hibs. It's a surprising one. You wouldn't maybe think of it, but I'm sure the Hibs fans will remember it. But
Ellie Yuan.
no, he's a midfielder.
Alan Campbell.
Josh Campbell. But
Josh Campbell. Sorry, Alan Campbell's at St Mirren.
yeah, I knew what you meant. Next up was Celtic in October 2022 in a 6-1 win over Hibs. Yeah, a lot of these against Hibs, unfortunately, but
Jota.
no,
Kyogo.
no. I'll tell you, he's still there, and he's been there the whole time since then.
He's still there. He's been there the whole time since then. Rio
Yeah,
Hatate.
nope. He's Scottish.
Scottish. He scored a hat trick against Hibs.
Yeah, and a 6-1 win at Celtic Park.
James Forrest.
Yeah, it was James Forrest. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
The next one, I think this was the season he was in the running for Golden Boot. This player,
Kevin
uh,
Van Veen.
yes, what a shout.
Cold. Cold moment.
That was, yeah, what a shout. That was Motherwell's. That was a 11 days before James Forrest. Then you'll have to go back over a year to the next one, which was Kilmarnock in a 3-0 win at home to Dundee United in 2021.
I'm never getting this, whoever the hell this is. Kilmarnock.
Okay, he also played for Hearts and Rangers and had really successful spells at
Oh,
them.
Chris Boyd.
No,
Oh, wait, you said Hearts. Uh,
yeah,
Hearts and Rangers, successful spells. Scored a hat trick at He was at Kilmarnock. Successful spell at Rangers.
yeah,
Oh, Stephen Naismith.
no.
What?
uh,
Oh no,
what else?
he wasn't playing by that
No,
point.
he
What am I
wasn't playing then.
talking
I
about?
think you were. I think you were maybe a wee bit too late with Chris Boy, but I understood that shout.
I'm
You'll
having a
know it when.
I'm having a stinker here. Wait. Do I know who this is?
Yes, you know who it is.
Um, is he retired now?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, he might still be playing, but he plays in the junior leagues in Scotland, I think, or he was last playing in the junior leagues of
Kyle
Scotland.
Lafferty.
Yes, it is Kyle Lafferty.
Oh,
Next
leave
up
that to
is
go on.
2019.
To
A Livingston striker, Ross County at home in a 4-0 win.
um. Oh, was it London Dykes?
Yes, it was London Knights. Okay, this one I'd never heard of this guy in my life. I imagine the St Mirren fans probably have. In 2019, it was Dundee away in a 3-2 win for St Mirren, and the guy's name is Cody Cook.
Would never have got that.
No, I wouldn't have either. Yeah. So yeah, I imagine the St Mirren fans remember him, but I didn't. And Dundee, probably not known most for playing for Dundee, but played for a lot of clubs in Scotland. I think he played for Partick Thistle.
Kenny
More, yeah, yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, I was trying to make that not too obvious of going to the Celtic and Rangers first, but yeah, good shout. And a 4-0 win over Hamilton in 2018. In 2017, another maybe Scottish football journeyman, and a 4-1 win at home to Hibs
For who?
for Aberdeen. although he played for a range of other clubs in Scotland.
Curtis Main.
No, not Curtis Main.
Uh,
Decent shout.
Rooney.
No, he's a winger.
A winger. Oh,
Yeah.
Johnny Hayes.
No, no.
Who?
Close. Close though, close though. He did play for
Oh,
Celtic.
Niall McGinn.
No.
Who is this?
uh,
Oh,
he,
Ryan Christie.
no, no. He
We're
played
running out of time on this meeting here.
played for. He had 5-star skills on FIFA.
I'm not gonna get this, whoever this is.
Played for Celtic and Dundee United also,
Oh,
and
um,
Ross County, I think,
is it Ross
and
County?
Kilmarnock, I think.
Gary Mackay-Stephen.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, right, okay. Well, that was fun. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with the rest of the games. Okay, so it turns out there's actually one more team for me to guess, and it is Dundee United. So Ethan's going to give me the year, and I'm going to see if I can get this one.
This is four. This is over 4 years before any of the other ones. Way back in 2013, since Dundee United last scored a Scottish Premiership hat trick, and it was by a Scottish player against Kilmarnock at home in a 3-2 win.
Okay. It's not Mackay-Stephen again, is it?
No, no, it's not.
Stuart Armstrong?
No.
I I know this player, right?
Yeah,
Right.
you know this player. Yeah, you definitely know this player.
Was he a striker?
Yes, I think he might still be playing actually. Let me double check that.
Oh, he might still be playing. Right, that scuppers my next guess.
Don't think he's played in Scotland though since he played for Dundee United.
Louis Appere.
No,
No.
he spent most of his career in the MLS.
Oh, Ryan Gold.
No, there's so
Oh,
many, there's so many players that could. He's 35.
that's
A
such a bait.
he's a Scotland international.
He spent most of his career in the MLS.
Yeah,
Is he still in the MLS?
yeah, playing for Real Salt Lake.
I don't know who this is.
He mostly played for Sporting Kansas City. He just left them.
I'm scuppered.
Okay, the answer is Johnny Russell.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. He was at Derby for a bit, was he not?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Johnny Russell, right. Well, Johnny Russell is the last answer. I think I did okay there, didn't I? Did
Yeah,
all
no,
right.
you did. You got a few bang on without me even saying much. So yeah, you done respectable, definitely.
Yeah. So moving on to the third game of the Saturday, we have Kilmarnock taking on Motherwell at Fir Park, and Kilmarnock's losing run continued in emphatic fashion. A 4-0 win for Motherwell. Tom Lowry was sent off in the 45th minute for a second yellow card. Eli Just opened the scoring in the 30th minute before Tawanda Maswanise, by the way. I'm starting to settle on him being the best player in the league right now. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead too much, but he's he's been ridiculous since coming back from AFCON. He was also voted as one of the most promising African talents, I think, after the tournament as well. So well done to Wanda Maswanise if you're watching, mate. Hit a wee subscribe, shout us out. Ibrahim Said has been in decent form himself. He made it 3-0 in the second half, assisted by Emmanuel Longello. And then Lucas Fadinger finished it off in the 82nd, assisted by Yuthor Martin Bjorgolfsen. Bjorgolfsen? Bjorgolfsen? I'm going to go for that. But I think Motherwell just displaying that they have an array of talent in their team. Goals can come from anywhere, assists can come from anywhere. There was no repeats um, for assists or goals for Motherwell in this game, just showing the depth of their squad, their new signing getting involved as well. Absolutely terrific for Motherwell.
Yeah, just carrying on where they left off from the last game after the win over Ross County. I know that it was a wee bit huff and puff in that game, and you maybe expected them to win by more, but the ridiculous defensive record continues. The clean sheets in the Scottish Premiership, and they just don't look like conceding a goal at Fir Park at the minute. I know Kilmarnock did get a goal through the former Motherwell midfielder, Liam Polworth, but it was just offside. I think Neil McCann was saying it was guesswork, although it did look like he just went a wee bit early, and then it was downhill from there out from Kilmarnock, and yeah, some excellent goals in there from Motherwell. Elijah Just was a really nice finish to Wanda Mason. He says volley was a really good goal, and yeah, he's been excellent since coming back from AFCON. I know I snubbed him in my team of the season, but so far, but I think he'll probably be in there. And your shout about him being the best player in the league, I don't know. There's not really anybody that comes to mind who's on better goal scoring form, certainly at the minute. And yeah, Motherwell have been excellent at both ends, keeping the ball out of their own net and putting it in the other team's net, and that makes for a great football team. And yeah, another game where they have over 70% possession. I know it's easy against a 10-man Kilmarnock team who are struggling, and I don't think Tom Lowry could really have any complaints about the two yellows either. He's late in both tackles. And yeah, I think Kilmarnock are maybe going back to their old ways at the start of last season. I remember we were always making a joke of it with Laurie about Kilmarnock's disciplinary problems, and I think they're possibly returning to them. I believe it's 4 red cards in the last 4 games, so that's not going to help Neil McCann to try and get his first win since becoming the boss of the Ayrshire club. And yeah, it's going to be a struggle. And I think the only upside for Kilmarnock at the minute is that Livingston are on a par, if not worse. That's the only positive thing coming out of Rugby Park at the minute. But yeah, Kilmarnock will need to find points from somewhere because Livingston might find points from somewhere, although I think everybody's came to agree that they're the two weakest teams in the league. And it looks like both of them will go down. Even the team who goes into the relegation playoff, I wouldn't fancy to beat whoever's coming up from the championship. But yeah, another excellent win for Jens Berfalasco's team, and they keep improving their case to be the fourth best, certainly the fourth, the favourite for that fourth position, possibly on the heels of Celtic if they can keep up their consistency. And you never know. It's been a funny old season.
Yeah, definitely, and they do look threatening, and they are just a joy to watch. They are probably my favourite team to watch in the whole division, Ethan. I don't know about you.
No, yeah, I would agree with that. I think they are, and yeah, they've been an excellent team. And usually with teams that are possession based, that aren't a Celtic or a Rangers, can be a wee bit defensively incapable. But they've got the most clean sheets in the league by one, ahead of Celtic and Hearts, two ahead of Rangers. They've also got the second highest average possession in the league, behind Celtic. So yeah, an excellent season for Jens Berfalasco and his players, and I think the Motherwell fans are enjoying it greatly. But as I always say, they should do, because I don't think this guy's going to be at Fir Park for long if Motherwell keep playing like this, because he's done an excellent job. And along with probably John McGlynn and some other candidates, Derek McInnes, maybe Danny Rowe, they'll all be in the running for that manager of the year come the climax of the season.
I think for me right now, Ashku is a very good case, but as long as Hearts are on top, I think you have to lean towards McInnes. It, it feels like a no-win situation for Jens Bertlascu, because I think if Hearts win the league, you have to give it to McInnes. I think if
Do
Rangers
you
win the,
though? Do you though?
yeah, you have to. Come on,
No, I don't know if you
absolutely,
do.
you absolutely have to.
No, I don't think you do. I disagree. I don't think you do.
Okay, right.
I
Um,
think depending on how many points, like if Motherwell were to, they're 11 points behind Hearts right now, right? See if he was to close that to under 10 points, then that's an excellent season for Motherwell if they finish fourth, get into Europe. And I know it's not, I'm probably still going to go with Derek McInnes, but just because if he wins the league, I don't think that means, I
no,
think
I
only,
just no. I think if you look at, well, Hearts didn't even finish top six last season, and I know obviously there's a lot of, they've been, McInnes has been helped out by the
yeah,
Jamestown analytics, but come on, it, he's come in. He still needs to implement. It's still a Derek McInnes team. It's a Derek McInnes style. It's not as if he's like just a puppet. He's come in. He's played his style. The analytics identify the players that should play well, but he still needs to deploy them in a way he thinks will work, and he has done, and they're top of the league.
no, I
And
agree. I agree. I think I probably would, if I got a vote, I think I probably would be casting it Derek McInnes' way at the minute. But then
no,
again, if we get fifth, John McGlynn might be up for it again.
maybe. You're probably going to disagree with my next part of that because I was going to say if Hearts win the league, I think you have to give it to McInnes, and this is why I said it's a no. I think it's a no-win situation for Jens. Because if I think if Rangers win the league, you have to give it to Danny Rowe
No, I disagree.
because of where Rangers were when Danny Rowe came in. Um, and if he manages to pull it off, I think you have to give it to Danny Rowe. And if Celtic win the league, I think Martin O'Neill has a case as well. So it's very, very tough
No,
because
I disagree. I think only out of the three teams we're calling immediate title contenders, I think if only Hearts were to win it. Depends the scenario. We've still got a lot of games to play, but I
really,
think only Derek McInnes. Because I think the Rangers and Celtics, it's an expectation. They have the greatest budgets, the greatest wages to pay out. So I know Danny Rose done an excellent job and take nothing away from him, but maybe I just think it would still be a greater, I don't know, achievement for Motherwell to get fourth or possibly higher, or Falkirk to get top five than it would be for Rangers to win the league.
okay, fair enough.
Well, we'll have to see what happens. There's still a lot of football to be played.
Speaking of Rangers, they hosted Dundee at Ibrox on Sunday. Of course, Dundee United and St Mirren was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. So we only had five fixtures this weekend. Rangers and Celtic both playing on the Sunday due to European football. We'll talk about Rangers first. It wasn't the best game. I missed the first half because I was at work. I caught up on the highlights. Rangers had some opportunities. They did score in the first half. Toji Chikwani thought he got his first Rangers goal. It was ruled out rightfully for offside after a VAR review. And it wasn't, Dundee were okay. It wasn't the most exciting game. I think there was elements of the Ludogorets game on Thursday. For this game, it was a wee bit of a slog for Rangers. Andreas Skov-Olsen made his league debut, as did Tochi Chikwani. Skov-Olsen looked decent in moments. Chikwani took a wee while to settle in, but I thought he looked decent in the end. They were both subbed in the 54th minute. But a good win for Rangers. Rangers got the opening goal through James Tavernier from the penalty spot. For me, Ethan, this is a clear penalty. I don't know if you have any disagreements.
Yeah, I think it is probably a penalty. It's one that I don't like, but I think it probably is a penalty. I
It's,
think it
it, is,
was.
it is harsh, but he does crash into him. You
Yeah,
can't really.
yeah, yeah. he does. I think it was Astley that was late. Raskin sort of fires it over the bar, and then Astley collides into him. He's late, doesn't get any of the ball, and takes Raskin out. So by that metric, or by that analysis, then it probably is a penalty. And James Tavernier.
Nico Raskin was probably thanking Astley for flying into them because that was a horrendous shot.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the way I'm looking at it. I'm like, could say Raskin's just fired it over the bar and tried to wait for the contact, but at the same time, Ashley just took him out, and you can't really have a defence for that, I don't think.
No, no. And James Tavernier stepped up, slotted it home for his 100th league goal in Scottish football. He is also nearly the top scorer in the SPFL era. I can't remember the exact statistic, but I think he's like 3 or 4 goals behind Lee Griffiths. So, and you know, loads of penalties in there, but he just for a right back, we talk about it all the time. Ridiculous. Moving on, Rangers had quite a bit of the ball. Dundee looked like they struggled to get out. I thought Tony Yogan, sorry, I keep calling him Yogan, but it's Yogan. Was pretty good down the left hand side. He did cause a few problems, but to no avail for Dundee. And then in the 91st minute, just as the stadium announcer was saying there was 4 minutes of additional time, Danilo gets the ball gifted to him as Dundee tried to play it from the back. John McCracken is off his line, trying to rush back to cover the angles. Danilo picks out what is a nice finish. And then in the 94th minute, this was the pick of the bunch. Diego Gassama does what we've seen him do multiple times this season. Cuts in on his right foot from the left-hand side and bends it into the far corner. 3-0 Rangers.
Yeah, business as usual for Danny Rowe. He continues on that winning run. It wasn't maybe as convincing as Rangers fans would have liked, but they got the job done. 3 goals, 0 conceded, a clean sheet against Dundee, who have proved a difficult opponent for teams recently. I don't think you can really complain about that. James Tavernier, as he usually does, took his penalty well, although I will say John McCracken was possibly unlucky, got a little bit on it. And then Danilo takes his goal well, and this is where I'm going to introduce, unfortunately, one of the worst debuts I've ever seen was Joe Bevan or Bevan. It might be. I'm going to say Bevan, the player who was substituted on for Dundee in the 72nd minute, making his Dundee debut, comes off the bench, plays Danilo through and goal effectively. So yeah, not a very good debut for him, but Danilo took his goal well, catching John McCracken, probably not in the correct position, and then Diego Gassama gets a really nice finish to seal the 3 points that they probably sealed already, but good finish from Gassama, gets his confidence up probably, and I believe he's the only I seen the other night or heard the other night. Rather, he's the only player to appear in every Rangers game this season. So, yeah.
Yeah, Diego Gassama, very, very consistent player. In terms of appearances, he's not he's not been super consistent recently, but he does show that magic. He can beat a man as well. You think Gassama has that thing where you think there's no way that he can hold on to the ball, and he'll come out the other side with it still in between his feet. But then on the other hand, he'll go for another chop and he'll fall on his backside. So that's what you get with Diego Gassama. Very hit and miss, but in this occasion it was a hit. But moving on to the most important game of the weekend for Rangers as well as the two teams involved. I'm just going to come right out and say it right from the beginning. This was probably my preferred result out of this game, as it put some distance between Celtic and Rangers and allowed Rangers to gain some points on the league leaders, Hearts. Rangers just 4 points behind Hearts now and 2 points ahead of Celtic. and the Rangers are going to win the Scottish Premiership this season. You heard it here first. No,
You
but
already said that Hearts were going to win the Scottish Premiership earlier in the season.
yeah, I think like
Well, he's going to go Hearts, then he's going to go Rangers, then where's he going to go next?
at that no at that point, I don't think Rangers are the snowball's chance in hell of getting anywhere near the title fight. So I think that I was just clutching at straws. I was like, I think Hearts will win because I really didn't want Celtic to win the league again.
Okay.
But yeah, but that's what I think. But this game was very, very exciting, telling as well. I think of the strengths and weaknesses of this Martin O'Neill Celtic side. I think we got a look into what this team's all about. I think they're still behind the curve. You can see they're still struggling to develop. However, I think one common theme we've seen under Martin O'Neill is they'll somehow manage to get a goal or two, or try and get a result. And they did that in the 7th minute. A terrific free kick from Benjamin Nygren, taking him level with Tawanda Maswanise and Lawrence Shankland in the SPFL top scorers list. So Celtic went into the half 1-0 up before Stuart Finlay equalised in the 48th minute. That's him looking over his shoulder at Emmanuel Fernandez and going, you're not scoring more goals than me, big man. Stuart Finlay, a nice header from him. Really good jump to sort of get in between the two Celtic defenders. I would probably say poor defending from Celtic. And then a man who's been in terrific form recently, Yang, popping up again with another goal in the 62nd minute. Really nice play from Thomas Shivanchara. That's what I'm going with. I don't know if there's been a pronunciation yet, but that's what I'm going with. Celtic take the lead. Have I missed? No, I've not missed it. Then in the 77th, well, it was earlier than that, but because of a long VAR review, but I'm just going with this. 77th minute, Austin Trusty was booked for pulling down Pierre Landry Kaboric. Trusty didn't have a great game at all. He nearly assisted Alexandros Kizridis earlier in the game. Kizridis really should have finished it. Pulls down Pierre Landry Kabori, who was played in on goal. It looked like, was it who was it covering? Was it Scales or
Scales was on the. If you're looking at it from Casper Schmeichel's point of view, he was on the left side. He was quite far back. Dane Murray was probably level with the pair, but obviously the ball was going out to the right hand side. So yeah, I think this one been analysed to death. A lot of people giving their opinion on it. I've seen ex-referees giving their opinion on it. Some saying it's not a clear and obvious goal scoring opportunity. Some saying it is. Yeah, I think what you can say is that Kabori has the advantage on Austin Trusty. Obviously, has the run on him. He's getting away from him. I think both of them make arm contact with each other, which you would expect. I think what does bring Kabori down though is the leg contact. I think it's harsh on Austin Trusty because I don't think he intends to trip Kabori up, but I can see why they came to the decision. And at the end of the day, I don't think Celtic were good enough to really complain. Obviously, you could say that Celtic maybe would have went on to win the game if they had had 11 men on the park, but I think Celtic were really lucky to come away from the game with even a point.
Yeah. Do you think that is denying a clear goal scoring opportunity? I think Kabori would be bearing down on Casper Schmeichel there, or do you think Dane Murray would get across? It's difficult to tell.
I don't
Obviously.
know. I also trust him. If I had to make a decision, yellow or red, and I was a referee, I probably would go yellow. But I can see why some people, including John Beaton, think it's a red card.
Okay.
And then obviously Stephen McLean, obviously seen the replays and he decided to change his decision. What do you think?
I thought it was a little bit harsh. I can see why it has been given because the ball is swaying away from, it's sort of going out towards the right hand side, away from Dane Murray, so that there would be distance there. However, at the same time, Kabori would have technically been running away from the goal, if you know what I mean. Not running in the opposite direction, but so yeah, I think it's a tough one. I think it was a little bit harsh on Austin Trusty, but we're talking about Celtic's, Kilmarnock's disciplinary issues. Celtic are trying to keep up. 2 red cards in 2 games now for them. Obviously, the one in Europe during the week, that one was also quite harsh as well, I thought. A similar challenge. A good bit softer though, I think, than this one. I think this one was definitely a foul. Just whether it was a yellow or red, I think is up for debate. I think Martin O'Neill actually said in his post-match presser it should be a blue card, and he's like, but
No, I think to be fair, I think what he said was he said it's as much as a red card as it is a blue card.
oh right,
Whatever
okay.
that means, I don't know. But uh, yeah, I think Celtic are right to feel aggrieved by the decision. But at the end of the day, I don't think Celtic played well enough in the game to really
No.
expect anything.
Hearts were the better side. They were making opportunities, and they did get their equaliser in the 87th minute. Nice finish from Claudio Braga, sort of nodded back down to him, and he's trying to keep up with the 3 ahead of him. He's got 10 league goals now, and Hearts did have some chances. Blair Spittle fired one over the bar towards the end, but that was that, and it was 2 each in this game. I think what we saw from this game was a side who are still better than Celtic, a side who maybe would be disappointed they didn't get the win, but I think they sort of staked their claim and gone, yeah, you guys maybe, you've got Martin O'Neill back in, you may be trying to climb your way back up the table, but they've sort of staked their claim and gone, we're here to stay.
Yeah, even with the adversity, the big injuries, the two in midfield, obviously, Cammy Devlin and Benny Beningame with the suspension, and obviously Lawrence Shankland, they still were by far the better team and should have won the match by probably a couple of goals. Because Reedus had 2 massive chances. You referenced the one where Austin Trusty made a complete mess of a back pass and allowed Casrides in. He hesitated a little bit. Eventually, pulled the trigger, but it was a really good save from Casper Schmeichel, who made a few of them. I think he maybe could have done better with the first goal. I've seen some people saying, but at the end of the day, I thought it was a good header from Stuart Finlay and terrible defending from the corner from Celtic. I think they were doing a mix of zonal and man marking, and Stuart Finlay kind of found a way to manipulate that into getting free at the back post, and a really good header from him, continuing on his goal scoring form. But yeah, it was Celtic were just 2 moments of quality, really, 2 really good goals from a Celtic point of view, but they didn't have enough. They were awful. One of probably the worst games I think Celtic have played all season. They
Yeah.
couldn't
See,
sustain.
sorry, see, before I start ripping into someone, because I've seen a lot of criticism of him in particular from multiple different sources, I just want to credit someone who I've been given a lot of slack all season. Celtic overall were rubbish today. Not today, yesterday.
Yeah,
But one man who I think probably had his best game of the season, made some big saves, Casper Schmeichel.
yeah, yeah. I think he did, and that was the thing. There wasn't many Celtic players that got past marks, and you know you've got to. I think you've got to take into consideration, and of course, Celtic have got the biggest squad, the most with the highest wages, probably cost the most money to assemble as well. But I think Celtic looked like a team that had played over an hour in Bologna, a man down. They looked like they just didn't have the legs to compete with Hearts. Hearts were intense, they were all over them. Celtic couldn't live up to it at all. They never really had a controlled period in the game. They could barely string 3 passes together. That's all credit to Hearts. They made it difficult, especially when Celtic get the first goal through Negrin. Really good free kick. Celtic's first in the Scottish Premiership since 2021, I think it was. David Turnbull, which is a ridiculous stat. And but ever since then, it was all Hearts. Even the Yang goal, was against the run of play. Brilliant play from the big man Thomas Chivanchara, or I don't know how to say his name yet.
I've just gone with Savanchara.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's Chivanchara or Chivanchara. It's something along those lines. I'm sure we'll get it down in the coming weeks. He didn't have his best game. He had bits. He had nice touches here and there. I think what we found out is that although he's a 6'3" striker, hold up play is not really his game. He's more sort of running in behind. You've seen that he was really quick. A good touch to Maeda, gets it back, and it's excellent
Do you know who
cross by
that
Jan.
sounds? Do you know who that sounds like to me? A tall
Uh,
guy who's not good at hold up and his game's running in behind, and it has not worked for him so far this season. Bojan Miovski.
yeah, possibly, but I think what he'll be judged on is how many times he finds the back of the net between now and the end of the season. And Celtic will obviously need him to, because I don't think there's anyone else there at Celtic who can do it on a consistent basis. Dyson Maeda possibly, but I think what they need is a striker.
Yeah,
And
Daisy
maybe,
Maeda, by the way, absolutely terrible. He's who I wanted to rip into. I thought he looked disinterested, possibly his worst performance in a Celtic shirt. Absolutely dreadful.
yeah, no, I thought he was really bad. He was like a man down for Celtic, and yeah, I don't know what he was. I don't know how he played so poorly. I think Celtic were terrible across the pitch. We only a few players getting pass marks, as I said. But yeah, all credit to Hearts. They were the better team, and on another day should have probably knocked Celtic out of the title race. I think the point probably keeps Celtic in it, just about. Obviously takes it out of their hands now that they only play Hearts once and are 6 points behind. But I think Celtic could still win this title race, although they are third favourites and they have been now for quite a while. I would still maybe have Hearts above Rangers, just because Rangers haven't beat Hearts yet this season, and Hearts probably should have won that game against Celtic and kept their advantage. And I
If
think the game at Ibrox will be a
yeah,
massive deciding factor on where my favourites lie in the running.
yeah, I'll just ask you quickly. If the points gap remains the same leading up to that game, then Rangers beat them, even though Hearts will still be in front. Would you back Rangers to win the league?
Yes, probably, unless Hearts dominated the game and Rangers won against the odds or something like that. Then I would probably, yeah, I'd probably say it. And if it's any other result, Hearts win or draw, I'd still say Hearts, because a point doesn't, it does stuff for Rangers, obviously, as we mentioned, but it doesn't do much for Celtic in this scenario, because Hearts are at the top. They can afford to drop points here and there against the opposing teams, as long as they're not losing.
Yeah, absolutely. Just before we finish off, me and Ethan have been um, playing sort of player pathways, sort of off off air. The Scottish Football Zone. I've been doing them on the Friday night shows, so I thought I'd do one today. Ethan brought that free kick quiz for me, so I've got a player for him to guess from the clubs that he's been at. So this player started his career in 2010 at Dundee United.
2010 at Dundee United. Um, Stuart Armstrong.
No, no. He then went on loan to Forfar Athletic in 2010. He was at Dundee United until 2012 before he moved to West Bromwich Albion, where he didn't make a single appearance.
Oh, uh, no, I don't have it. I don't have it even a guess.
In his time at West Brom, he went on loan to Portsmouth, MK Dons, Portsmouth again, and Birmingham City before he departed West Brom in 2014 and joined Hibernian.
Oh, no, I still don't know.
No,
I still don't have a clue.
no.
Terrible ball knowledge on
He, de-
show.
he departed Hibernian in 2015 after a year there and joined Celtic.
Oh, oh, who could this be? Celtic. Hibs to Celtic. Hibs to Celtic. Uh, Oh yeah, I'm not trying to think, but I can't get it. No, I don't have it.
Okay, so in his time at Celtic, he was there for 4 years, but he went on multiple loans to Rotherham, Dundee, Hibernian, before joining Hibernian permanently in 2019.
Oh, is it Dylan McGeoch?
No.
No,
In his time at Hibernian, he went on loan to Inverness Cali Thistle.
I don't think I'm going to get this.
He left Hibernian into 2022 and joined Arbroath. No,
Nah, I'm hopeless. I'm done. I'm not getting it.
definitely know who this is. Um, he went on loan to Larne in his time at Arbroath.
I went on loan to one. This time at Arbroath. That's a bit of a weird loan. Uh,
I think it was just to get games. This is a very injury-ridden player.
Very injury-ridden player.
Could have had a better career probably if he wasn't so sought with injuries. He only made 230 appearances in his entire 15-year career. He
Uh,
retired at Kelty Hearts in 2025.
Kelly Hearts. Nah, I don't think I have it.
Right, one last clue. He's now a coach at East Kilbride.
He's not a coach at East Kilbride. Oh, Scott Allen. That's easy.
You should have got that, man. What the
I
heck?
know. I know. Oh, just forget about him. Just forget about him.
You so many good clues as well.
But yeah, I know. That was poor from me. That was well set up as well, and I made a mess of it.
All right, okay. That'll do it for today's episode.
Will we, no, sorry, will we give our quick predictions for the final European games?
Who actually cares?
Well, Celtic could still qualify if they
Okay,
get a draw in our
three
one.
3-0 to Utrecht. And I'm gonna go. No, I'm
Is that
joking.
your
I'll
is
go.
that
I'll go 2-1 to Celtic, and I will go Rangers to draw in Portugal. I'm gonna go with one each.
I'm going to go with 2-0 win for Porto. I think they'll keep up their good defensive record, and Danny Rowe's winning run will come to an end against probably the best. Well, I'm going to say certainly the best opposition of that run. And then Celtic will just about beat Utrecht at home by 1-0.
Okay, dokie. That'll wrap it up for today's episode of the Dugout Podcast. Thank you to everyone for watching and listening. Make sure to like and subscribe. Give us a 5-star review on Spotify. Follow us on Spotify. Leave your comments down below about what you think about the season so far. Who do you think will win the league title? Please let us know. It's really starting to heat up now. And yeah, as for the TikTok and the Twitter, I have taken a bit of a hiatus from the TikTok to focus on university stuff. Of course, it's not an ideal time to make it. There has been tons of signings in January. However, we haven't really spoke about it yet. Kind of springing this on them, but me and Ethan could do a January sort of review show at some point, where we can look at the signings and sort of evaluate them. Talking in transfers is always fun. So yeah, I don't know if the TikTok will be up and running.
Sorry, Alex. Talking about transfers is fun when your team is making
Yeah,
transfers.
talking about transfers has been fun for me. But yeah, I don't know if the TikToks will be coming back anytime soon. We'll just need to see how things play out. But yeah, thank you very much for watching and listening. Goodbye.